What's up, man? So I'm here in Thailand. Sorry for all the chicken noises. Gonna do a quick video on music school because I've had some students talking about this, and I have my opinions, which I'm about to share. That doesn't, I wouldn't dissuade them from going, or I also wouldn't encourage them to go. But my, quite simply, my opinion is that music schools should be abolished completely. Um, it's Music is an artistic endeavor. It's not an academic one, and anybody trying to make it one is a douchebag. Music schools are simply for-profit institutions. They are corporations. They want maximum profit. I think New England Conservatory. I might be wrong. You can look this up, but I believe the tuition was over $50,000 a year. Now, I know Berkeley graduates. I know New England Conservatory graduates. Some of whom got amazing gigs that they wouldn't have gotten had they not gone to music school. But there are also people out there who won the lottery, and their lives were changed for the better, and they would never have gotten that money had they not played the lottery. The numbers are probably friggin' pretty close. For the most part, people graduate, and if they don't get a gig perpetuating that money-making machine, teaching, um, they just end up like me and everybody else, shuffling nickels and taking gigs for shit pay. And hopefully they maintain their enthusiasm and they continue to try to improve. And I'm not. That's a whole nother topic for another video. But here's the thing. Like, let's talk about jazz for a minute, because it's my jazz students that tend to feel the need to go to get educated. Um, Jazz is can be complicated. When you start first getting exposed to that harmony, um, it tends to be pretty heavy. Um, it's sort of like if you were painting in black and white for a long time, you could do some amazing things in black and white, but suddenly you're exposed to all these colors. You have this palette, and you don't know what the fuck to do with it, and it's overwhelming. Um, the first bit of advice I would give to anybody facing that, because I've been there, is to, and hopefully you're doing it anyway, but it's not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming in a bad way. It's exciting. Suddenly you've got all this world of shit you can use. You might not know how to use it yet, but it's like, I found it to be very exciting. I'd be making my coffee, sitting down with my real books and my jazz books and my CDs and my guitar or at the piano, and just like, I'd be popping ephedrine pills. I couldn't get enough of it. And I'm kind of getting like that again. Like, I'm really, um, lately been getting really motivated to get better and delve into some new territory. But yeah, back to music school. If you're going, the thing is, if you want to be immersed in music, right? That's the idea of music school. You're not necessarily going to get educated. You want to be amongst those great players from all over the world, and move to, if you don't already live in one, move to a city where that's full of great musicians. I'm from Rhode Island. There are tons of great players there, and of course we were just less than an hour from Boston, depending on traffic. A few hours from New York. You had Hartford. You had, had some cool stuff happen in New Hampshire. All over that region. You had killer musicians. Um, any city. I don't care if it's Chicago or Cleveland or Columbus, Ohio, or Miami, or you know, of course Austin, Houston, Dallas, L.A., Phoenix, any big city, San Francisco. You're gonna find tons of great musicians. Um, so you don't need that. You don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to go to a music school to be immersed in music. Um, and as far as like the theory goes, if you get overwhelmed, you can take lessons, man. Like, I've had students that were doing exactly what I'm talking about doing, and they were like, they actually had a list of people they wanted to study with, and I happened to fortunately be, oh, sorry man, there's only mosquitoes and flies. I was fortunately on that list, and they might only take 2, 3 lessons with me. And they would tell me ahead of time, and I would, there was no, there were definitely no hard feelings about that. I'd be like, all right, man, let's, we're gonna, there were certain things I did personally that they liked, so I'd be like, all right, let's do those first, and I'll explain what I did. Um, and then there might be things, you know, jazz harmony things they were a little iffy on, and I could help explain those. But back to, oh my god, these flies. Plus I'm all sweaty. I just worked out. But back to the theory. What you have to realize is theory is just that. It's a theory as to what the hell just happened in the music. So I play something. Johann Sebastian Bach plays something. He gets drunk on a Thursday night. He writes some song. He's sitting there at the organ, and then somebody sits down and says, "Oh, he was doing this, this, and this, and this." But that's not necessarily the case. He was just playing. So the way I look at theory is it's more of a language. It's more for communicative purposes as opposed to being rules. You know, a simple example of that would be, like in traditional harmony, traditional music, you play a major chord, you play a major scale. Or let's say you play a minor chord, you play a minor scale, A minor scale, there's a few different ones, but so if you ask any decent musician, um, you say, hey, can you play a major third on a minor chord? Guaranteed they're gonna be like, well, because, and I would too, because we know the rules, we know you're not supposed to, but we know that you can. So, I didn't mean to just call myself a good musician. I think that didn't really come across the right way. Um, but anybody with some experience knows that you can play anything over anything, and that will change depending on the circumstances of the gig. If you're playing with friggin' Celine Dion and she's singing the theme from the Titanic, then obviously you're not going to want to get too creative with your harmonic options, you know. But as far as music school goes, man, you can do it on your own. There are some great books, and actually, I had a student from Indonesia. He emailed me and he told me, he's like, hey man, um, he asked me, how much I charged and everything, and he didn't get back to me for like 3 months, and he's like, hey man, I've been saving my money, um, so I could take this. He's like, I can only afford one lesson, and you know, and so we talked, and he basically wanted me to guide him, if I could recommend some books or CDs, something. He just wanted guidance for the most part, and he was going to do it himself. So that's what we did, and man, he was already a good player, and of course I'd recommend certain books and certain CDs. If you want to learn bebop, there's a million of them, but like the Sonny Stitt, Oscar Peterson Trio CD is just fucking madness. If you want to learn, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a pianist and you just want to feel like you just got raped, I mean, anything by Art Tatum. Um, there's all this great stuff, and there's some great books out there as well. And the thing with the books, though, you need to be careful. You need to kind of know how to use them. So that's another thing. Of course, depending on the book. But so I'm kind of, I wanted this to be a really quick video because, as usual, my phone battery is about to die. But I'm not making this to necessarily be negative towards music school as much as I am to say that the musicians themselves are empowered to learn whatever they want and get wherever they want. And if they need help along the way, there are the tools available. You don't have to go to music school and fork over all this money and all this stress. And of course you can, and there are some guys that benefited greatly from that. But you can do it on your own. And if you need to study with somebody, there's some great teachers out there. And you know what? If they're not so great, it's not the end of the world. You take one lesson, you see that they're kind of douchey, and you're like, all right, I tried. I tried to get what I could, and that one didn't work out. But I mean, God, you can study with, George Garzone, Jerry Bergant. There are all these sax players in Rhode Island, that New England area. I remember going to see, God, Dino Gavoni, which you guys probably haven't heard of, but he's a monster, and Eddie Tomasi, who is just terrifying. I think he's been teaching at Berklee forever, but nobody really knows who he is. But he's probably one of the best guys that's ever lived. Um, so it's great guys you can fucking study with, man. Like, you don't need to go to music school. You can get these people, you know, if you want to study, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. You can study with these people one on one, and with Skype and all, like FaceTime and all this stuff. Um, you know, there's no reason you can't study with. May save that money. You know, even if someone charges $100 a lesson, you could take a lesson with somebody different every week of the year for $5 grand. $5 grand, you could have a lesson with this guy, this guy, this guy, Georgia. I mean, mind-boggling shit. And on Skype, you can screen capture it. You know, you can record it, archive it, and go back to it, and you know, take notes, and it, there are just some amazing ways to go about learning. That, I mean, music school is just again, it's a money-making scam. I mean, the teachers there, I've known some great, passionate teachers that taught at music schools, but generally, they're these kind of washed up, jaded, kind of arrogant guys. And like, they're like fucking, they're shit talking like other students to their students, you know, and like, they're, there's, just the vibe doesn't do it for me, but hey, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree. But thanks for watching.